All right, so he'll cop whatever punishment is handed his way. Does that, hearing that explanation, Kenty, change how you feel about how this should be handled?
Oh, look, it's a difficult one, and I'll tell you why it's a difficult one. If the blackmail attempt is true, and let's assume it's true, okay, but bearing in mind we're dealing here with people who, not Cody Walker specifically, but the game as a whole, where they have a trouble sometimes fessing up to what's going on. If the blackmail attempt is true, then this will encourage teams, wrongly, I think, but this will encourage teams in future, if he's punished by more than $20,000, to actually just pay the blackmail or deal with it themselves without involving the integrity unit. I've watched the full 4 odd minutes that this video goes, not just the highlighted clips that you're seeing. Let me tell you two things about that. The two blokes were having what I would describe as the most gentlemanly street fight I have ever seen. They have a guy in a Raiders jersey actually refereeing the fight at some point. At one point, one of the fighters slips down to the ground. They get up and they touch hands like fighters do in the UFC or in a boxing ring and go. So for Cody Walker to think his cousin was in any danger is a bit of a stretch, because there's probably about 3 solid blows landed in the whole 4-minute exchange. Now, he had, from my point of view, I don't think what he did was the crime of the century. I don't really care, but he also had no right to get involved. These guys weren't even hurting each other, let alone one guy in danger that would justify a third person entering the fight. I think that's going to be his issue. He has talked about, which we just heard there, about the problems that were the emotional times around the family at the time. That's going to be fully understandable, and we all get that. But I just feel it's one of those things that he just didn't need to be there, to be honest. He just didn't need to. It was an emotional time, and I think he's a good guy, Cody, and I just think he made a blue and didn't need to be there, to be honest.
Kenny, where do you think it'll end? I mean, obviously the police are looking into it at the moment. The integrity unit, no doubt, will have a look at it. I just spoke about the challenges for South Sydney. I mean, already lost so many great leaders in terms of John Sutton, who'd been at the club through thick and thin. Sam Burgess, who was arguably one of the greatest forwards of our game for such a long time, and also Greg Inglis. I mean, how does Wayne Bennett handle this situation as well?
Well, look, the first thing is, Mick, I don't know where it's going to land with the integrity. Okay, I try to. Let's remember, Mitchell Pearce pretended to play with a dog 4 or 5 years ago and got 8 weeks for it, and $125,000 fine. Now, the dog suffered less injury than that bloke did the other day that Cody Walker kicked. Okay, that I don't know. I don't find any consistency from offence to offence with the NRL. I've got no idea where it is. My first reaction, if it probably get a little bit of time. We've seen players get a little bit of time there. Where that leaves the Rabbitohs is they've lost Cody Walker if he goes. They've also lost James Roberts, remember, and they've got Latrell Mitchell who's struggling to get fit. So they're in a little bit of bother for that first game against the Roosters. Yeah. And I think it's got the potential, depending on how long he gets sat down for. And I think he'd probably get a couple of weeks, maybe 4 weeks, depending on what they want to do. Let's remember, it is an assault, and once you've watched the full video, there's no reason for him to be involved other than the emotional circumstances that are hovering in the background, where he will no doubt get some sympathy for it, but his cousin wasn't in danger. Like, I don't think his cousin got hit with a solid blow. Like, seriously, it was handbags at 20 paces, the two blokes. Like, there wasn't a straight. The first bloke that threw a straight punch would have won the fight. You know what I mean? So there's not much to worry about in that respect. But the fact he got involved, you can actually hear on the video someone saying, "Oh my God, here comes Cody," or something like that. I've got the quote written down over there. I'm trying to see it. Oh my God, here comes Cody, and then he goes, and then he kicks the guy, and then he walks away. And the guy who he kicked actually about a minute later walks towards Cody to say, and you can hear him saying, I just want to sort it out. It's just one-on-one. I want to sort it out. And when he gets near Cody, charges him again, as if he's going to continue with what he's just given the guy. So, look, he didn't need to be there. That's it. And I fully understand the circumstances. I understand the emotions involved. But the NRL integrity unit, I think, to have some sort of consistency, is going to have to act on this with some time on the sideline.
And if he gets that, Kenty, sorry to cut you off, if he cops 2 to 4, like and you're just throwing up a potential number, that's a hell of a lot more than $20,000. So it doesn't get that back to your original problem that all of a sudden you're encouraging clubs to just pay the blackmail to sweep it under the carpet.
Yeah, well, that's the problem the NRL integrity unit has got to deal with, is that they will have points or moments there where some clubs I've got no doubt are already doing it, where they don't tell anybody, no one's going to find out. But the danger you've got, and this I love this bit, the danger you've got is right at near the end of the video, you can hear a girl saying, "This is not going on Facebook." and the girl filming it says, "No, it's just going to stay on my phone." You can't. That's it. You cannot. It's like trying to keep back the ocean. You cannot stop it. Once it's there, it's there. So to try and regulate social media is impossible. So you always have to assume the worst. And Cody said tonight in the interview that he didn't know that there was a camera there. I think you've got to assume every time now there's a camera there.